All right, on January 9th at approximately 7:46 p.m., our dispatch center received multiple reports from witnesses that a suspect who was riding on a San Francisco airport-bound train had used a handgun to shoot another train passenger multiple times while riding that same train and when that train was at our West Oakland station. The suspect then fled the train and exited the West Oakland station. Responding BART police personnel arrived on scene at approximately 7:52 p.m. and assisted other passengers in trying to render first aid to the victim, which was unsuccessful. The victim, who we have yet been able to identify, died as a result of injuries he sustained from that shooting. The suspect is described as a black male in his late 20s to early 30s, approximately 6'2", a skinny build with broad shoulders, scruffy face, wearing a long green trench coat over a dark hoodie, dark pants, dark backpack, and armed with a handgun. We are here today asking for the public's assistance in helping us identify the suspects whose photo we are now making available. If anyone knows who this suspect is or can provide any additional information regarding this case, I'm asking you to please call our BART Police Department anonymous tip line at 510-464-7011, or you can call our detectives that are responsible for this case, Detective Sanchez or Sergeant Power, at 510-464-7040. Ready to take any questions that you might have.
Yeah, Chief, I have a question about these photos right here. Where were they taken, and was it before the incident and after? And is this the only photo you have? Do you have video, anything else on the train? Is this it in terms of the suspect photo?
These photos were taken from our BART security system. The suspect, as we believe he was exiting the station at West Oakland.
And was there video surveillance on the train? And if not, and do you have any video of that from the train?
It's some information that I'm not prepared to talk about or cannot talk about because it's part of an ongoing active investigation. We're releasing these photos because we are asking for the public's assistance in helping us identify this suspect.
But can you answer whether, let me follow up if I can you answer whether or not there was a camera on this train and if it was working?
Again, these are the photos that we're prepared to release regarding...
Not what I'm asking.
I understand, but this is what I'm answering to your question. These are the photos that we're prepared to release at this point, okay? And we're asking for the public's assistance in helping us identify this suspect.
Well, Chief, I have a question because this happened Saturday night, yet today is, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's 4 days that the public could have helped you possibly identify this guy. Why the delay?
Because we delayed because we were working with our law enforcement partners and trying to follow all the leads that we could possibly follow in order to identify the suspect. Plus, we wanted to make sure we were able to properly interview all the witnesses that were possibly in the station or on that train and get their statements without their statements being contaminated by others that they read in the newspaper or heard on the radio or saw on TV.
Chief, in regards to videos, and not just for this case, but in general, is there a camera on each train, on all of your BART trains? Are there cameras on every train, every car?
We have a pretty robust camera system. We have cameras on trains. We have cameras on the platforms. As you can see, we have cameras on the egress, ingress. When you first come into the stations, we now have cameras on our officers.
But every car has a camera?
May I finish?
Yes, please.
And we have a number of personnel assigned to pull video, these additional positions that we now have in the police department where we're pulling video in regards to different acts that are being committed, approximately 16 hours a day. So we make a lot of video available as far as which ones are on the trains, where they're positioned on the platforms, where they're positioned in the stations. That's security information that I'm not willing to give out.
Chief, can you tell us or confirm whether or not this victim had a knife, and can you tell us why you have not been able to identify him at this point?
A knife was recovered at the scene. I can't say if it was his or not. We have been not able to identify the victim at this point because he didn't have any identification.
Was there anything that you
Didn't
can
have
tell us about what
identification.
led to this incident? If there was words, if it was just random, anything that you can share with us?
At this point, it's unknown the relationship between the victim and the suspect.
Can you explain why you think he was targeted though?
I never said that.
That's what I thought I read reports that this was a targeted, not a terrorist attack, not anything of that sort, but I feel like there was a reason.
We have no information that this was a terrorist attack, and I don't believe any of BART police personnel have made any statements to the effect that this was a targeted attack.
But you don't know if it's random or targeted?
Again, we're trying to figure out what is the relationship between the suspect and victim.
Have there
So
been any
motive, you
change
guys don't
in,
have a motive established.
No, we don't.
have there been any change in security protocols since this? Increased patrols, anything like that?
We've got a pretty good deployment strategy as it is. This is a pretty brazen, random act. We have a number of BART personnel assigned to patrol every couple of stations. Along with, we have a special team that's funded by the federal government that's responsible for safety and security between downtown San Francisco and downtown Oakland, along with our K-9 teams on top of our what we call regularly foot patrol and vehicle patrol officers. And our K-9 team is all part of that, is also funded by the federal government.
Do you feel like you need more officers riding the trains? That's what some passengers think.
I can't think of a chief of police in America that would refuse additional services. But with that said, if you're a victim of any type of crime, and talking about safety, that's one too many. Okay. But to put this in perspective, BART, we are transporting approximately 25,000 people a day. Okay. We go through 4 counties, 26 cities. Everything that happens in those cities could possibly happen on BART. It does not. This past year, we actually have seen a 10% drop in our Part 1 crime rate. This is the second year in a row where our Part 1 violent crime rate has dropped.
Chief, has BART increased its number of officers who ride trains in the wake of the shooting, or on trains?
We require our officers, when they're on duty, to ride a set number of train rides a day.
Okay, but has it been increased since the shooting on
No, it
Saturday?
has not.
Are you confident in this post 9/11 era that you've got enough surveillance cameras on platforms, on exits and entrances, and on the trains?
It's just like the question about manpower. No chief of police in America is going to turn down resources, or if you want to give me more resources, we certainly will take them. This is my 6th law enforcement agency that I worked in 3 states. This is the first one that I did not have to really fight about to get security cameras. They were already in place when I got here. We're constantly upgrading them, and as I said, we have cameras on our officers as well.
Chief, were there BART patrol officers patrolling inside the West Oakland BART station when this man walked out?
No, we have no information.
Were there officers patrolling in the station and around it when this man walked out?
Not to my knowledge.
Where would the nearest BART officer be during this time at 6:47 on a Saturday?
It depends on what was going on, and it's difficult for me to say where that
Typically,
officer.
do you have a number of officers assigned to that station?
During the week, we actually have what we call a post-up assignment at the station during the rush hour, during the morning and evening commute, because of its strategic location. And this is, again, overtime money that's been made available to me in my budget by the board of directors, because this is such a critical station for us.
So Saturday around that time, one of those times you consider a lull where you don't?
No, we
use
did not
much
have, we did
manpower?
not have a post-up officer at the station Saturday night.
And post-up officer just means an officer assigned to patrol the station?
The sign to be at that station only.
Chief, while we're here, do you know if the suspect in the shootout from the Hayward BART station, has he been implicated in homicide with just the same attempted murder assault charges at this point?
No.
Chief, a moment ago you used the word random. I think people would be more concerned with that word if this is actually random. Did you mean to use that term? And you used the word random when you were describing this shooting. Is that true? Is this a random act?
You know, again, we don't know the relationship between the suspect and victim at this time. And if I don't want to mislead you guys or anything like that, but when something like this happens, it's just not something that normally happens at BART. And I would imagine the majority of people in this room, something like this wouldn't happen on your street.
When was the last time there was a shooting on BART? Was it fatal? And why is there no conversation about putting more officers on trains?
The last shooting on a train, it hasn't happened in the 6 years that I've been here. And as we discuss, trying to scratch our brains, talking with our senior officers, being told that an incident occurred in the 90s where somebody was shot on a train.
And why no talk about adding additional officers to ride trains? Because you're confident in the number that are there now, or because there's just no money for it?
No, the money is not the issue. We work within the budget that we have, and we're always making requests for additional resources. But as I said before, we've shown a 10% drop in our crime rate with the existing resources that we have. But if I can get additional resources, I will certainly take them, just like any other police chief in America.
Was there a reason why you thought this victim could have been foreign national? Yes, I've read that too. Correct me if I'm wrong on that point.
Again, we believe the victim is possibly Hispanic, but we have no information really to confirm or unconfirm that.
Age range,
I don't have a age.
range, 20s, 30s?
I'd put him in the 19 to 25 range.
Color hair?
Black hair.
And possibly Latino?
Yes,
He's-
sir.
But no idea again on him, on this person, that's odd.
We don't have any identifying information on him.
Do you know how he bought the BART ticket?
No.
Chief, do you have any confirmed points of entry for both the victim and the suspect at the beginning of their transits that evening?
Again, this is an active ongoing investigation. We're trying to figure all of that out, what the relationship was, or if any, between the suspect and victim.
In the pictures here, is he leaving through? Did he leave through the exit gate?
Yes, these are from our surveillance videos at the West Oakland station where he's exiting the station.
Okay. Did he go through a gate or did he
He-
use the swing?
Well, from what we can see right here, he's going through one of the exit gates.
Was he
Clipper
walking
card,
or
you know?
running?
Yeah.
Was he using a clipper card, you know?
Don't know.
And that's after the shooting. Exit, yeah.
This is him exiting our station.
Was he running or walking?
At this point, this is what we have.
Well, witnesses or other surveillance video, did anything lead to the fact that he may have been?
Again, part of an active, ongoing investigation is certain things that we don't want to put out there. We want independent witnesses who are at the station or on the train to give us what they may have seen, heard, or whatever, based on their own account, not based on what they hear today in the media, hear on the radio, or read in the newspaper.
And are you not telling us of what station he got on because you can't find him in surveillance footage, or because telling us would compromise things?
Again, this is what we're prepared to release at this point regarding the suspect, and we are seeking the public's help. If anybody can identify who this individual is, please contact our department at the numbers that we've provided up here.
And Chief, based on your witness accounts, can you tell us what those witnesses said in terms of his demeanor, the way he walked, did he say anything? Just to create a description or a profile of this guy that the public can understand who they're looking for.
I think this is a pretty good description. You have a pretty good photo of the individual, what he looks like, what he wears, carries a backpack. Somebody out there knows who this individual is, and we're asking them to contact us, please.
So he didn't say anything, there was no witness account of his demeanor at the time, where he was sitting in the train.
Again, I think I've answered your question.
Should BART passengers who are obviously upset by this, as you can imagine, they're upset whether it happens once every 20 years or once every 2 weeks, do you have anything to say to them in terms of their unease on walking on the train 5 days a week now that they know such a thing can happen?
Again, if you're a victim of any crime anywhere in America, that's one crime too many. And I understand and empathize with their angst if they have any. But we're doing our best to make sure that we ensure the safety of the passengers, the 420,000 people who use BART every day. We work with them in a community policing strategy to make the district safe. And from my perspective, that strategy is working because our crime rate is going down. Okay, we appreciate again you guys coming out, assisting us in getting this request out to the public. We encourage the public, our riders, again, when they're in our system, if they see anything suspicious, not just this individual, we want you to contact us and let us come out and find out or make sure it's nothing. So, thank you.
Thank you.